Republican National Convention. That is the big thing, the big news. JD Vance was one of the people that was selected, or not one of the people. He was among a short list of people that was selected and then ultimately became the running mate of Trump in the vice presidential nomination as far as if Trump becomes president, when Trump becomes president. But before we get into him, Trump made a surprise appearance, which was a surprise to nobody, actually. But he made a surprise appearance and coming up to or going into the Republican National Convention early. Check it out.
Gentlemen, please welcome the next president of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
That's the way you're supposed to come in. Bandage on your ear, showing that you survived an assassination attempt. Listen, bro, if the Republican Party is not playing this 1,000% right, I don't know how any way you can do it. They are hitting on every single cylinder. They are capitalizing off of all the visibility. I'm not even sure that there's ever been a more watched Republican National Convention in history. I'm going to have to go and check the numbers. I'm not sure that it's ever been a Republican National Convention that has been more watched than the one that's watched right now. Honest to God. Dude got the thing on, the bandage on his ear like he just came out of war. Said that, yo, I'm going to show up. Just came off of the blood off of his face and everything like that. Got the music playing. Made a surprise appearance. Didn't even appear at the time that he was supposed to appear. Made a surprise appearance. And picked his vice presidential running mate. You can't make this up, bro. You cannot make this type of visibility up, bro.
All the things were gone. I worked for all my life, and I had to start again. Just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today.
Got the whole world around him. Got the Secret Service agents blocking every piece of who he is. Look, he about to cry. What a time to be alive, ladies and gentlemen.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. Don't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her.
Is this guy not one of the greatest Americans of all time? I mean, from a marketing perspective, look. It does not get any better, honestly, than winning when you wasn't expected to win, losing, letting your opponent fumble, and then coming back and taking over the White House right after that if he was to get elected. Dog, this story, when they write him into the history books, I guarantee you it's not going to be the second Bush. It's not going to be the first Bush. It's not going to be the Clintons. It's not going to be Biden. Nobody is going to study Biden in history going forward as far as the presidents of the United States of America. I'm telling you right now that you cannot make this up. They've literally made him a documentary. He's a walking documentary. Oh my God, been persecuted. Supreme Court, I went against all odds. I killed everything. I destroyed everything. I made America great again. I fought China. I fought Russia. I brought our American troops back home. This is a documentary. Literally, you are watching a real life and real time drama. Villain turn hero again. They turned against me. They didn't like me when they first came in, but then they learned to appreciate me, and we all on the same team because we're going to make America. I'm telling you, bro, you cannot make this up, bro. Seriously.
Still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land.
Went against the establishment.
God bless the
We drained the swamp. I lost all respect for Charlemagne too. I seen his little breakdown. I lost all respect. I lost so much respect, Bob Brown, for Charlemagne that I won't even review that little stupid breakdown that he did. It was so ignorant and it was so dumb. It's amazing. But the bigger news was not just him coming out, but him leveraging an opportunity in order to basically highlight JD Vance, who is now his VP running mate for President of the United States of America. Check it out.
It is now my honor to introduce the Attorney General of Iowa, Brenna Bird. Please join me in giving her a warm welcome.
Why all the politicians want to be looking frumpy? I don't like that. They're looking frumpier than that.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for us to determine our nominee for the office of Vice President of the United States, Senator JD Vance. Time for a little convention business here. The chair states that in compliance with Rule 40B, the chair has been furnished with evidence that a plurality of the delegates from each of 5 or more states severally support the candidate who will be presented for the nomination for Vice President of the United States. The chair would like to remind delegates of the provisions of Rule 40A, which provide that in part, if there is only one candidate for nomination for Vice President of the United States who has demonstrated the support required by this paragraph B of this rule, a motion to nominate for such office by acclamation shall be in order, and no calling of the roll with respect to such office shall be required. At this time, the chair states that she has been furnished with evidence that there is only one candidate for nomination for the office of Vice President who has demonstrated the support required under Rule 40B of the Rules of the Convention. Delegates and alternates, the chair recognizes and is pleased to introduce John Husted, Lieutenant Governor of Ohio, for the purpose of nominating. Please give him a warm welcome.
Are we ready? Are we ready to nominate a vice president? How about you, Ohio? Yeah! That's awesome. I'm John Husted, the Lieutenant Governor from the great state of Ohio. It is an honor to speak to you all this afternoon to formally nominate the Republican nominee for Vice President of the United States. Ohio is the heart of it all, and that is certainly the case once again here today. The vice presidency is an office of sacred trust. The man who accepts this nomination accepts with it the awesome responsibility to give wise counsel to the president, to represent America abroad, to preside over the Senate, and to be ready to lead our nation at a moment's notice. Such a man must have an America first attitude in his heart. He must, amen.
You see his wife? You see his wife?
He must embrace his obligation to the American family, the American worker, and the American soldier. He must believe that America is exceptional.
His wife is Indian.
And be prepared in the tradition of our founders to pledge his life, his fortune, his sacred honor to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. He must share the values and principles of our presidential nominee and be trusted to faithfully...
I know white women mad right now. Talk about it. Oh, we going to get there. Trust me. We got a whole week. I'm going to break down his wife, the nationality. It's only Tuesday. We got a full week. We're going to get to it.
Implement the will of the people. JD Vance is such a man.
JD, 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 JD.
A man who loves America and will represent our people with moral courage, strength, and honor. JD is a living embodiment of the American dream. He came from humble beginnings, and even as his life took him to places he might have never imagined, he never forgot where he came from.
I heard that his wife quit her law firm, or not quit her law firm, quit her job in law as soon as he was nominated as Vice President of the United States of America, or the VP running mate of the presidential candidate of the United States of America. Let me just give y'all a quick overview. I kind of talked about it yesterday, but I'm going to give y'all a quick overview of who JD Vance is and why I believe that this is a phenomenal pick, okay? I seen a lot of people online yesterday, and I was looking at their little reviews and stuff like that, and they completely missed the mark. Most people 100% missed the mark on this guy and why it was necessary for him to be picked as Vice President of the United States of America. I anticipated somebody like a Vivek. I never anticipated any other person outside of Vivek or somebody that could galvanize the swing state voters outside of people that then talked well, right? And so I never anticipated it being Nikki Haley or anything like that. But let me just break down for you guys a little bit of an understanding who JD Vance is. So JD Vance, that's him and his wife, and they were at the Republican National Convention yesterday. He was his running mate and at the Republican National Convention, and he was basically an Ohio senator. An Ohio senator. All right, let's go on. He's from Kentucky, Jackson, Kentucky, and Middletown, Ohio. Described in his childhood as a person that was raised in poverty. He had a 2016 best-selling memoir, Hillbilly Elegy. Vance's mother struggled with drug addiction, and he spent many of his formative years with his grandmother, known to him as Mama. Just captured the hearts of the people right there. All of the people from every walk of life, not only the people that is in the Senate and that's of the higher-ups and the elites, but his story resonates with the people. And more importantly, he's from Ohio, okay? He's a senator in Ohio. Why is that meaningful? Because it solidified Donald Trump's presidency by continuing to control the swing states. The biggest coup for Donald Trump is to really capture the Midwest. The Midwest, in my opinion, because I think that everywhere else is pretty much what it's going to be. Of course, you got to make sure that you take care of Nevada, right? You got to try to control what happens in Georgia. You really want Arizona. You want to knock down Arizona. But the main places that you want to control the Milwaukees. You want to control Michigan. You want to control Ohio. You want to control Indiana, right? So when we talk about swing states, Florida is a swing state that I believe is largely going to be red. When we talk about swing states and we talk about these places, you don't care about California. You don't care about New York. California and New York is going to be California and New York. You know what I'm saying? Even though New York is kind of surprising me a little bit, but you don't care about that. You want to control the Midwest, right? Those are the places where people are largely going to be determined in the election. You want to be in the steel states, right? You want to be in the manufacturing states, the UAW. You want to be in Ohio. You want to be in all of these places, the middle America, the places that has largely been forgotten when we talking about all of these places where people go to visit. They go to visit Miami, and they go to Texas and Houston. That's not where you want to focus your campaign. The way that Obama really captured America was not just hope, but because he tapped into the everyday American in a way that could relate to him, in addition to the fact that they were going through a lot of things. And so the part that people really are missing is the heart of America, and that's always going to be the Midwest. That's where all of the manufacturing jobs are. We don't care about the finance sector. We don't care about Silicon Valley. You got to go where things are being made, where the weather has all 4 seasons. And that's where you pick your person at. And not only did he pick a person that came from humble beginnings that's not a part of the establishment, but a person that has recently been nominated and elected into our legislature as recently as 2022. Born in 1984. He's only 40 years old, 39 years old, 40 years old. If elected, he'll be the youngest vice president since Richard Nixon. He served in the military, all right? Joined the Marine Corps after high school. Look at that jawline. As American as it gets. If you want your son to run for president of the United States, you ever want them to be able to get into the legislature, make them go into the armed services. That's the fastest way to get some level of credibility. His wife, Usha Vance, who was also a litigator for a law firm based in San Francisco and Washington, D.C., the pair met as students at Yale Law School, meaning that this dude is smart as hell. He's smart as hell. He is not just some dumb jock. He is just not some white hillbilly from the middle of America. His story resonates with people because it's like you pulled yourself up by your bootstraps. You also married a woman that is a representation of the melting pot of America, so you're capturing a whole nother demographic, right? On top of that, you went to Yale Law School, paid for by the fact that you pulled yourself up from your bootstraps. You didn't have nobody to pay for your education, but you went into the armed services to serve your country, right? Got married in 2014, 1 year after they graduated. Married the person that he met in college. 3 children. One of them name is Vivek. You know what I'm saying? Look at his wife. Humble, supportive. They say that she's really the engine that powers what goes on inside of their marriage. Behind every great man is always going to be a strong woman that is very supportive. And so she's right there by his side. Right there by his side, right? He lives in the East Walnut Hills neighborhood of Cincinnati. The senator also bought $1.5 million home in Alexandria, blah, 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 blah. The biggest thing from this is that there's a lot of people that say, well, when he first hit the scene, he actually wasn't a Trumper. He was against Trump. Well, that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest advertising or advertisement that you can have for a person that ultimately became your running mate, because it's the mindset of what a lot of the voters did, including myself, because when Trump first came into office, I thought and I believed that he was in office in order to continue to market himself. But as I continued to do my research and I looked at more stories, he really believed that he could win. And so the idea of winning the heart of the American people and being a representation of, I didn't believe in him then, and I didn't understand him then, but then I started to believe in him now, or I think that he's the best person for the job, so much so to where I'm advocating for him, and I became a person that was one of his biggest Trumpers and his biggest supporters throughout his journey these last almost, 12 years? It's a big deal. It's a huge deal. And so I think that is an excellent pick. I'm not sure that you can get a better pick. If you're looking to galvanize the voters, if you're looking to control the swing states, if you're looking to get a person that is literally middle of America, that married a woman that's a representation of the hodgepodge and the melting pot that is the United States of America, 3 children, went to Yale Law School, served in the armed services, wasn't previously a Trump supporter, but now has been a Trump supporter for a long time over the last few years, and then has a lot of swing and a lot of sway with a lot of the elites in corporate America. Who else would you pick? And they say that the dude absolutely 100% can debate his ass off. They say he's smart as hell and he can debate his. They say Kamala Harris got her hands full. If it's ever going to be a vice presidential debate, it's going to be a long day for her. So I'm looking forward to it. Election 2024 is so exciting. I've been gearing up for this for the past 2.5 years. I said this is going to be an incredible time, an incredible day, an incredible time. So